One thing that I really enjoy drawing is the effect of backlit. You know, backlit, that's when the sun is behind our main subject. So that's what we're going to do today. Welcome to Senior Art Strokes. I'm Angel Mercado. And welcome to warm, sunny Florida. This is winter time here in Florida, and it is a cold day today. I went for a walk this morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, and it was dark, of course, and about 42 degrees. So for us, it's cold. Nothing like up north, but you know, it's very cold. With the wind coming from the coast, it just makes it very cold. So anyway, back to our subject. One effect that like I say, I enjoy drawing is the backlit effect. They give the illusion of, because remember, we're just drawing, and every drawing is an illusion, right? Especially when it comes to render scenes. And I love the glowing effect the backlit has. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to practice that. Maybe I'll do another video about this too, because there's so many ideas that come to mind. Things to consider to keep in when you're doing backlit. Remember, the sun usually is behind the subject, and usually this comes a lot easier. You can see a lot easier during the early morning light or towards the evening light. But sometimes, you know, at noon, when the sun is up high, if the object is in a certain angle, you might get that backlit also. So that is the best time. And one good thing you can do, I mean, you can copy what I'm doing here, that would be great as an exercise, but also get your cell phone, your camera, go outside when you see that effect, the backlit. Want to take pictures of whatever, plants, flowers, you know, tree, could be, I don't know, just different effects and different objects you might find, and then try to do those. And start small, very small, do little thumbnails like, and then you can go on and make a larger drawing. But that would be a great thing to do, because that is when you go outside, start taking your own photographs, and then you use your own photos, you know, you start getting the right mindset for all of this, and that is great. We're going to use charcoals today, and the reason why I use charcoal is because with charcoal I can achieve tones so much faster than graphite. The other thing, it's a lot easier for me when it comes to photograph the artwork. You know, graphite sometimes has a sheen, a shine. Then when you trim a certain way, you might lose the dark, you know, effect that you want to see, because it might be glowing too much. That's what graphite tends to do. So with charcoal, I can view it from different angles, I can photograph from different angles, and it's always going to be dark and light. So that is one reason why we're using charcoals today. One thing, watch the video till the end, because at the end I'm going to give you a few tips, you know, just to help you enhance this. So make sure you watch till the end. And practice, remember, this is made for you who is just beginning, or you who just want to learn a new technique, and that's what we're here for. So go back, visit some of my other videos, my channel, Senior Art Strokes, and I have a lot of tutorials there that might help you to create what you've been wanting to create, and you know, move forward, get there where you want to get with your drawings. So enjoy the video, thumbs up, of course, always, subscribe, share, that would be beautiful. It will help my channel, and it will make you feel good too, because somehow you're helping me by doing that. And since this is all free, we will all be happy. We're all winners. So enjoy the video, and I will see you in a little bit. Drawing that I done a while back, and this was beautiful morning. I happen to be there, fortunately. And what I'm doing right now, I'm just kind of mapping my, that's where it's going to be at. That's going to be my drawing. And I did this on the morning, and I happened to be looking across the street. Years ago, we used to live in an apartment before we moved to a home. And I seen this lady talking on the phone. It was one morning. So, and it looked so beautiful to me. The way the light was hitting her, like, the backlit effect, that I decided to do is drawing. So the first thing I'm going to do here, I'm going to kind of do a little mapping of the scene, and I'm going to save a little bit of the white probably that I might need later, and all the rest I'm just going to darken. I'm using just charcoal, soft charcoal. That way we can add tone very fast. Look how fast we can do this. And you don't have to worry about being perfect, because all of this we're going to blend, so a lot of these marks are going to disappear. But the main subject, I wanted to place it here. I just want to keep some of the white, so I'm not going to touch that much. So what I like to do there, I like to get my fingers are, well, I've been touching cardboard, so it's a little bit, cardboard, charcoal, so it's a little bit dark, but they are clean. I wash my hands, I don't have any oils, and that is what we have to look for. And I'm just going to light, very light, I'm just going to blend all of this together. That is the one reason I love charcoal, is because so fast we can add tone to the paper. It just doesn't take much time at all. Okay, so now that we have the tone, I'm going to go a little bit with my, in the middle here of the figure, just to create a little bit of dark. Okay, so that is going to be pretty much where our figure is going to be placed at. And she was in a, I believe she was in a nightgown, really, on a robe or something, because it looked like she just got up and she just got a phone call or something. So she was talking, and she was right by her apartment. So this was like a two. It was, I think, it was a 3-floor apartment, 2 or 3, can't remember. But anyway, there were some pillars here. Like that. She was right by the, it was nicely framed too, because her door was right behind her, which was the darkest spot on the scene, so it made the glow of the backlit even more visible. So this part here was darker. That's the door frame. And as you can see, I'm not being very careful on how I'm doing this, because I know all of this is going to be blended again. And I like to start my charcoal with a soft charcoal, because we can blend, we can move the charcoal around, we don't have to commit ourselves right away to what we're doing. We can always change it, and which makes it pretty nice. Okay, so there it is. Kind of like the door, and of course here we're going to have the ground. It was a little bit darker because it was in shadow, nothing was hitting it. there was no light, so very little light there. And maybe I'm going to widen it a little bit more, so you see how easy we can add to it and not have to worry much about, oh, I'm going to mess it up or whatever. There were some bushes in here, and this was kind of like a little bit on the darker value, like that. It was a little bit of some bushes here on the back too, and all of this really helped to preserve her, to not preserve, but to really bring her figure forward. There we go. So that's about the drawing part. And then the rest now is kind of like the door frame, and the rest was darker too here, so I'm going to darken it. Okay, there. So again, I'm going to get my finger here and start doing some drawing. The door frame, we have this was kind of like a frame that went for the upstairs balcony, like so. There we go. And again, I'm going to add a little bit of tone in the middle of it. You see, in the middle of the figure. Very soft there. And here's the ground, and pretty much there we have the most of the information we need for this sketch. I'm getting a little bit of the charcoal from my fingers, and what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go and get a little bit charcoal that's a little bit darker, or not as soft, and I'm going to go over just the darker areas with the charcoal. What happens with the charcoal is it's not going to move as easy as the vine charcoal. This is a little bit more compressed charcoal, so it's more stable. It's not going to move as easy around. We can still manipulate it, but most of it's going to stay, a lot of it's going to stay right there and keep the value we want. Okay, so with the darker charcoal here, I'm going crossways. That way we can get rid of some of the white we have there. As you can see, the white really starts to glow there. And I'm going to go around the door frame. Same thing here. This is a great exercise also if you have a little bit of a shaky hands, your pulse is not the most steady pulse. This is a great exercise for you too, because as you can see, you don't need to be very exact, very precise. There's not a lot of details. Okay, let me talk about this. You see me bad. And here, what I should do, I should have a piece of paper. So I can, let's see if I have one here. Okay, I have a piece of paper here. I should have a piece of paper like this so I can rest my hand here and keep the white clean. Alright? I should. But what I'm going to teach you here, and I know this a little bit early, but I just want to warn you about this. That way, when you start your drawing, you can do a little bit better than I'm doing here, and don't have to do this later. So, with the eraser, I'm just going to clean most of the stuff. Okay, there. So we can keep the area nice and clean. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I am going to use a little piece of paper just to save myself some headaches, and I'm just going to put it right in here like this. That way I don't have to worry about cleaning the mess all the time. Alright, so I'm going to go back to the to the charcoal I was using, and whatever is darker I'm going to go over with the charcoal. Whatever I see darker tones in my scene, I'm just going to go with the compressed charcoal. That way it's going to stay there, it's not going to come off as easy. Okay, like that. Just a little bit wider here. There's the door. There, and here's part of the back wall. There we go. So now we have a little more darker tone. Now I'm going to get my stamp, and this what this is just very tightly rolled up paper, and I'm going to go over the dark. And here is just to unify everything, to get rid of a lot of the, you know, the little white specks that we see. So like that. Also in the back, pretty much I'm going to go over the whole thing. This really kind of drives the charcoal into the paper. It makes the charcoal a little more stable. I can achieve the darker tone that I'm looking. So it really helps to do this step. Also, the door frame, it looks too light to me, so I'm going to go over it. Just make sure that I'm not going to have too much of a light line. Pretty much like I said, all over the place. I'm going to use this. Here with the bushes, I'm following the shape of the bush. You see, kind of like going like this, just more like a fan. The ground, these bushes in the background. There. Okay. So now I feel like we are ready to start working on the figure a little bit more, defining the figure more. Okay. So the way I'm going to do the figure, I'm going to get my kneaded eraser, and this eraser works a lot better when it's soft, so we have to stretch it like this, and this way the eraser cleans itself also. You see how lighter it's getting? All of the charcoal is disappearing like magic. Voila! Alright, so I'm going to create a tip, and this lady's head was kind of like pointing down like this. Like that. With my eraser. So this is her arm that's bringing the font to her ear. And then we have the front part a little bit rounded. Like this. There. And it's going to have a little bit of light in the back. There. And she was walking like that. Very simple. So now I'm going to go back to the charcoal again, and I'm going to start doing a little bit of drawing. Here she has her head, like I said, it was kind of like leaning, facing down, so I'm going to add the part of the hair there. Here has the shoulder, the arm is going to be here, and there we have kind of like the face, and this part here is going to be a little bit darker because the sun is definitely not here in this area. go, like that. You see how bright the white started to look when the white I left um, that I didn't put any charcoal. It really started glowing. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, very light with my finger, I'm going to go over this because I don't want this to be darker than the background. I want this to be a little bit lighter than the background because it was lighter than the background. The background was dark, not receiving any light, so it looks darker. There we go. And we're just trying to create a soft edge, not a hard edge. Soft edge meaning it's hard to tell where's the beginning and the end, right of the edge. Hard edge will be kind of like here. You see, it's definitely a hard edge right there. We know where that starts and where it ends. So after that, I'm going to go back to the charcoal, and I'm going to start molding this a little bit more. The light, the glow, right from the backlit. There. What we're doing, we're pretty much molding the shape, you know, just giving it, making a little more sense out of it. Like we don't need this part here. This part right here also is going to be a little bit different, and I'm just going to leave the dark in the background. So you can see how easy we can create the illusion of the backlit. There. Okay. And with this I can also go back and darken the background more because the wall was definitely in shadow, so it's not a whole lot there. But the main thing that I want to do here, I want to keep the door as the darkest, one of the darkest areas of the scene. There we go. And here, the door frame. A little more defined there. There we go. So this area also is a little bit too light, so I'm just going to do a few lines and very light. I'm just going to go back and forth again just to darken that a little bit. There. You see how easy and nice and loosey we can create this with the charcoal. That's why I love charcoal. To use the charcoal because it just doesn't take much effort to do this. Alright. It's not going to be as bright because it wasn't being hit by it. The most light was coming from this area like this, so she was being hit in the front area the most. Okay, so what I'm going to do again, I'm going to get my eraser and I'm going to go over certain areas here. Like for instance, she had her phone in the ear. Well, let me the phone was right there. Okay. Her arm was coming here with the hand. There. And this area here, well, this area here really. There we go. Just put a little bit more pressure to the eraser and pretty much takes all the charcoal off. You can see how easy that works. Alright, so here I can see that this area need to be darkened a little bit, just to, there we go. There. The arm. Another thing there were some flowers in these bushes, so some of this they were like being hit by sun. Just like that. Just a few indications of, flowers being there. Like that. Maybe a few here in the back also. And this don't have to be, it can turn very loose like that. And just a few. The main object are not the flowers, but it's the figure of this lady. Okay, so now I'm going to go and lighten this up a little bit more, the front part, since this area was being hit by the more intense light from the sun. There we go. This part of the shoulder maybe was a little bit brighter. And here's where you have to learn how to, you have to learn to squint your eyes. Squint your eyes and you're going to be able to see values so much easier. I always suggest, I always strongly recommend to squint your eyes when you're adding tone, when you're adding value. There, the shoulder, maybe was a little bit more. There we go. And again here we're going to go a little bit lighter, just in this area. There. What we can do now, we can get the bottom of her robe here was shown. She was walking as she was talking, so maybe we see a little bit of a foot sticking out, just an indication there. Doesn't have to be, we don't have to spend a lot of time creating a lot of details there. Just to help create the illusion, make it a little more realistic. There we go. And really, we are pretty much done with our sketch of creating this nice backlit sketch. There we go. Maybe I can reshape the arm a little bit more. But even the arm is not going to be as bright as it's shown here, because what I'm going to do with my finger, I'm just going to go and do this. Because only part of the arm is going to get some sunlight, not the whole arm. And start softening the edge. Same thing on the outside. Soften it a little bit. There. We're going to improve this lady's shape, of course. There. Darker here. The phone. And we're going to redraw the arm. And this is kind of like a back and forth, you know, you just add a little bit. You think, okay, now this should be a little bit darker. So I am going to make it a little bit darker. Then I hide it. To emphasize the arm a little bit, I'm going to darken this around the arm. There. So this sketch, you have to remember when there's a backlit, this backlit effect doesn't last very long. It goes by very fast. So you have to learn to work fast. So I've been doing this for such a long time that, you know, I can do this pretty quickly. I've been doing outdoor plein air painting for over 30 years, so I got used to work a little bit faster, and now I'm adding a little bit of more dark tone around the figure, just to bring it up to, you know, make it glow a little bit more, bring it forward more. There. So that's, maybe here she was taking a step, so this row was kind of like going like this. Let's give it some folds here, like that. There. And around this area, I'm going to reshape it a little bit more. There. I always thought this lady must be from, because I'm here, I'm far away from my kids. I thought maybe one of her kids was calling her on the phone. She was receiving a phone call, so she was talking to one of them. There. So there you go. That is your backlit scene. Maybe we can show a little bit of a sun maybe here in the front. So I'm going to go with the eraser and a very light back and forth effect, just to show, since the sun's coming from this direction, maybe it was a little bit more of a, you know, the ground was showing a little bit better there. There. And that is pretty much all we need to do. Here will be more of a shadow, so it won't be so light. There. And there you go. That's how you do your backlit sketch. Something very easy. I think a lot of you will be able to do it. Practice it several times, because the more you practice it, the better you'll get at it. What I suggest you to do the scene and do it several times. Just don't do it once and then say, okay, I'm done, I'm going to go into something else. No, if you think you can do it better, go and do it again until you know you finally get it the way you want to. And then if you get bored with this, start another different scene. And that way you can really practice and get this beautiful, start creating this beautiful effect. You see, I'm going to take my paper out of there. Look how nice and clean it is now. So there you go, folks. That's my backlit scene, and this, I call this one morning call. So things to remember is to make your glowing light make even brighter. Just make sure you have enough dark around it. Make sure you have you want to have a mix of both. You want to have a mix of sharp and soft edges. Don't be afraid of just going there and you know, retouching places where you see it might enhance your drawing. Just don't go there and just start doing things. Just look at it, and if you see something that you think is going to help, do it. And go with a purpose, not just blindly thinking, I think maybe if I do this or whatever, blindly, no. Just think about what you're doing and do it. One suggestion from me is it will help you a lot, because here you want to learn how to do this. You want to learn in a way that it's not going to you're going to remember it just only for one sketch, but you know you will remember it later on if you want to do it again. And a way to do it, just do very small. This is a very small sketch, you see. So before you commit yourself to a larger drawing, do a series of these little drawings. They're fun to do. If you enjoy sketching, I think you're going to really enjoy this. And by the time you're done, by the time you get everything figured out how it works, then you can go on and do a larger drawing. You'll be in the right mindset. Now you know exactly what you have to do, and it'll be so much easier for you to do it. So that is one tip I have for you. Just don't start with a large drawing right away, because it might cost you a lot longer time than you think. Maybe the first try is not going to be there enough, and you have to start again. Whereas if you do these little short drawings like this, it will get you into, you know, the arm movement, your muscle movement will develop much easier. Squint your eyes. Always is important. Squint your eyes. When you squint your eyes, it's going to make it a lot easier for you to see what needs to be darkened, or you know, it maybe need to be maybe you need to lift some charcoal because it's just getting too dark, and you need some lighter areas so we can create tones. You see, it's a beautiful, nice range of tones here. One important thing. Well, I did this, you know, like I said, I did this live, and I wasn't doing it from a photograph. And for me here was the speed. And when you do that, you have to remember the very first, image, the light pattern and the shadow. So what you do, you just have to rely on your memory. Like I said, this light will vanish very quick, and if you don't have enough time to do it, then, or to finish it, then you have to rely on your memory and just keep it, as the same way as you imagine it first. Don't try to, like we say, don't chase the light. If you chase the light, that means you're going to be changing the light patterns, the shadow patterns, and your drawing is going to end up looking a mess. And you're going to see it, and you're not going to be happy with the results because it's not going to reflect what you saw the first time.